Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating legends from ancient China, the story of Shennong, also known as the Divine Farmer. This tale isn't just myth. It's a window into how early Chinese civilization understood agriculture, medicine, and humanity's relationship with nature. But before we meet Shennong, let's set the stage. In traditional Chinese mythology, the earliest leaders of humankind weren't kings or warriors. They were wise sages who taught people how to survive and thrive. Among them, three are especially revered: Fuxi, Nuwa, and Shennong, together known as the Three Sovereigns, or the Three August Ones. You might remember Fuxi. He's credited with teaching people how to fish with nets, domesticate animals, and even create the earliest form of writing through the 8 trigrams. And Nuwa, she's the goddess who famously patched up the sky with 5 colored stones after a great disaster. Now, it's Shennong's turn, and his story is all about food and medicine. Long ago, during Shennong's time, human populations had grown significantly. Hunting and gathering alone could no longer feed everyone. Some days, people ate well. Other days, they went hungry or worse, starved. Many fell ill from eating raw meat or unknown plants, and without proper food or medicine, suffering was widespread. Seeing this, Shennong's heart ached. He knew something had to change. One day, as he looked out over hills covered in wild grasses, flowers, and trees, an idea struck him. Why rely only on hunting? What if people could eat the plants around them? But there was a problem. How could anyone know which plants were safe? So Shennong made a bold decision. He would taste every plant himself. Yes, you heard that right. Armed with nothing but courage and curiosity, Shennong began collecting roots, leaves, seeds, fruits, and stems from the wilderness. One by one, he put them in his mouth. Some tasted sweet and nourishing, delicious. Even others were bitter, sour, or so unpleasant he could barely swallow them. But the real danger came from the ones that seemed harmless, yet made him dizzy, nauseous, or violently ill. These were poisonous. Legend says Shennong was poisoned dozens of times. Some accounts even claim 72 times in a single day. But thanks to his divine nature, and perhaps a bit of magical help, he always recovered. And each time, he carefully recorded what he'd eaten, noting its effects. In doing so, he didn't just find food. He laid the foundation for traditional Chinese herbal medicine. But Shennong didn't stop there. He noticed something else. When people tossed fruit pits or seeds on the ground, new plants often sprouted the next year. He observed how crops grew best in warm weather, how some plants thrived in dry soil while others needed moisture, and how different soils, yellow, black, sandy, or loamy, affected growth. This led to his second great gift to humanity: farming. Shennong taught people how to plant seeds intentionally, how to choose the right land, and how to work with the seasons. Instead of wandering endlessly for food, communities could now grow their own right near their homes. This shift from foraging to farming was revolutionary. It meant stability, surplus, and eventually, civilization itself. And with surplus came trade. People began gathering at midday, when the sun was highest, to exchange what they had extra of: grain for tools, herbs for cloth, pottery for seeds. This tradition gave rise to the Chinese saying, "Ri zhong wei shi," market at noon, one of the earliest records of organized commerce. Now, of course, Shennong is a legendary figure. Historians don't believe one man single-handedly invented agriculture or medicine, but his story captures a profound truth. Human progress is built on trial, error, observation, and care. Generation after generation, ancient people experimented with plants not just to eat, but to heal. They learned from nature, shared knowledge, and slowly turned survival into science. Today, Shennong is still honored across China. Statues depict him with the head of an ox, a symbol of strength and diligence, and in traditional medicine, he's considered the father of herbalism. Even the famous Shennong Benkao Jing, or the classic of herbal medicine, is attributed to him, though it was likely compiled centuries later. So the next time you sip herbal tea, tend a garden, or buy fresh produce at a market, remember the legend of Shennong, the brave sage who risked his life so others could live better. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into Chinese mythology, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories from China's rich cultural heritage. Until next time, keep exploring.